So I was scrolling through the internet again when something very interesting caught my eye. One legendary scene. So 3 weeks ago, it was the 10th birthday of Legend of Korra. The Legend of Korra was a sequel show to Avatar The Last Airbender. Avatar The Last Airbender is seen by many as one of the best animated TV series ever made. So it was no secret that the show would continue in some way to capitalize on its success. And that's how The Legend of Korra was born. It was a very controversial show when it came out, and it still is. Some people hated it because of how different it was from Avatar. Some people liked it because it tried to be unique. Well, some people even said the exact opposite and got mad at the show for not being unique enough. They were either for or against Korra. I was somewhere in between. I get where both sides are coming from. I get that the show made Avatar worse by existing. Like, these people actually thought that they could make the Avatar story better by making a sequel. Like, you're trying to make something as good as one of the best animated series of all time. Of course it's not gonna be as good as Avatar. So why are you making the show in the first place? But on the other side, I don't think it's fair to compare a show that puts in so much work to feel unique and new to the show that it doesn't want you to compare it to. Oh, Korra is so different and it's a totally different story than Avatar. It's so bad. Yeah, that's the point, dipshit. I could also talk about things I like and don't like about the show itself. I could talk about why Season 4 is really underrated and why Korra alone is such an amazing episode. But I could also talk about why Season 2 is one of the worst things I have ever suffered through, and I still regret not skipping it. But with all of that said, I care a lot about this show. You see, I am way younger than most Avatar fans, so I grew up on Korra Season 1. And even though I have very mixed feelings about the show as a whole, it's still really important to me. That's why I'm making this video. My profile picture / YouTube avatar is Pabu, a character from Korra. He's the best part of this show, and the living proof that God exists. Oh my god, I love this guy. So one legendary scene works like this. You have to choose one scene from Legend of Korra and explain why you like it. I was no joke thinking about picking the scene where everyone is tied up and Pabu comes to save the day. What an absolute chat. But after rewatching the show, I knew which scene I was going to pick. It's a scene from Season 3 Episode 10. Long Live the Queen. Ah yes, Season 3. It's the second best season of the show, and I could praise it for a lot of things. It sets up Kuvira's character perfectly, and makes her becoming a villain so much more believable. It tries to fix the underdeveloped spirits, which is ironic because they already spent an entire fucking season on it. I'm sorry, my hatred for Season 2 is too big, sometimes I just have to let it out. But I would say that this season's greatest strength is its main villain, Zaheer. The scene I want to talk about is the scene where Zaheer suffocates the Earth Queen. So Zaheer's philosophy mainly revolves around anarchy. I don't want to talk about anarchy in detail because the meaning of nerd already has a really good video on it, so go watch that if you want to know more. So Zaheer really likes his anarchy, but I think this scene shows us another side of Zaheer's philosophy that we haven't seen before. I think Zaheer's character isn't about anarchy. It isn't about violence. It's not even about chaos. I think the most important aspect of Zaheer's character is something that nobody ever brings up when talking about him. Everything has two sides. Let's start with the obvious one. Zaheer thinks leadership has two sides. It can unite people, and a country can really benefit from a good ruler. But leadership also has another side. It creates dictators who don't care about the people they're ruling, and it can destroy societies. That's why Zaheer believes in anarchy. But why did I choose this scene in particular? I could have chosen Zaheer's final battle with Korra. I could have chosen his talk with Korra in the spirit world. All of these examples illustrate his philosophy as well, or even better than the scene I chose. So why did I choose the scene where Zaheer suffocates the Earth Queen? Well, dear viewer, let me explain. This scene gives us the most complete version of Zaheer's character. He kills the leader of an entire kingdom. This shows how much he's willing to do for anarchy. But it's the way he kills the Earth Queen that I always found so smart. He does it with an air ball. That's right, the goofiest part of airbending in the original show is used as a murder weapon in this scene. And I love it. I love it so much because it shows the audience that Zaheer has a point. Everything does have two sides. Zaheer is so interesting because he's one of the only airbenders who uses their powers for bad things. I've always seen air as the least violent of the elements. In Avatar, it was used to do parkour and to dodge attacks instead of fighting back. But even something as good as that has two sides. Zaheer doesn't use air to defend himself. He doesn't use it to parkour or to ride around on goofy airballs. He uses it to kill people. He uses it to fly and to suffocate. The scene is the perfect illustration of that. Everything has two sides. And if you don't like Zaheer because he changed air so much you can't compare it to air in Avatar anymore, that's fair, but I do like it. And I hope y'all now understand why.